When I arrived at my sister's wedding with my son, she grabbed the microphone and announced, "I told you not to bring him. He's not family anymore." Then she turned her back and signaled for security. One guard caught my wrist while the other pushed my son behind me. When my son reached for a cupcake from the kids' table, someone slapped his hand away and said, "That's not for outsiders." My uncle poured an entire glass of champagne onto my chair before I could sit down and remarked, "The shame of the family always shows up right when things are going well." My brother smirked, patted me on the back and told my son, "Take a good look, kid. That's what it looks like when a man throws his life away." I just smiled, but I didn't come empty-handed. Before I left, I quietly placed a small USB drive on the gift table. An hour later, my phone exploded with notifications and missed calls. I don't usually post much here. I mostly lurk for memes and silly DIY fails. But this is one of those situations that makes you think, is this real life? I need to get it out, so here we go. My sister Cassandra got married last weekend at a local venue. Not super fancy, but she wanted it to feel special. And yeah, we're not close anymore. Not since my divorce, which honestly nobody handled well. But she's always had her opinions about me, my ex, and my son, Remy. He's 9 and if you ask him, he's more into Minecraft than family drama, so he's got the right approach. To give some context, Cassandra's been cold towards me since everything went down 2 years ago. She said things to my face like I'm bad energy, and Remy reminds her of everything that went wrong. She never liked my ex, but she acts like my kid is contagious. My mom, bless her, tries to keep the peace, but it's like everyone tiptoes around Cassandra, the queen bee. If you cross her, you get iced out. My brother Christian knows better but is quieter about it, while Dad's tired of the drama but pretends it's not his issue. Cassandra sent out a wedding invitation to the family group chat, but pointedly left me and Remy out. She wrote, "Hope we can keep the day peaceful, just family, right?" My mom asked me privately if I was coming, and I said, "I don't want to make it weird, but I'm not hiding either." She got emotional and said she wanted Remy there, so I agreed to go, but only if Remy was welcome. She promised it would be okay. On the day of the wedding, I was already feeling tense. I put on a button-up shirt that didn't have any stains and got Remy dressed nicely, though he complained about the shoes. We got in the car. The first weird thing happened when we walked in, and the woman at the front desk just stared at me, checked her list, and then gave me a tight smile. I said, "Family of the bride, Miles," and she replied, "Oh right. Table 7, but it sounded like a warning." I brushed it off. Remy was just enjoying his Switch, not caring. We found our table at the back near the coat racks. I understood why, but it felt a bit harsh. A couple of cousins nodded at us, but nobody got up. My Aunt Vanessa, always on Cassandra's side, pretended to be happy to see us and then immediately turned to whisper to her husband. Classic. Remy asked if he could get a cupcake from the kids' table, and I said, "Sure, but don't go overboard. Save room for dinner." He wandered over while I pretended to scroll through my phone. Suddenly, I heard him exclaim, "Ow!" I looked up, and Vanessa's daughter, who I never liked, was standing by the table with her hand up, saying, "Those are for Cassandra's real family, not for outsiders." I walked over and asked, "Are you serious right now?" But she just shrugged and walked away. Remy was holding his hand, not crying but clearly upset. I reassured him, "Don't worry about it. We'll get something later." At this point, I should have left, but my mom came over and hugged me, saying she was glad we came. I didn't want to cause a scene. I could tell she was stressed, looking like she'd cry if anyone pushed her. Dad wouldn't meet my eyes, he just said, "Good to see you," and went back to the bar. Classic. Then we tried to sit down. I pulled my chair out and found it covered in champagne, just sitting there in a puddle. Uncle Edward, my dad's brother, has always disliked me for reasons I don't understand. He grinned and said, "The shame of the family always shows up right when things are going well." I looked at him and asked if he was okay. He just laughed, slapped my shoulder too hard, and walked off. I grabbed some napkins to clean off the chair because what else was I going to do, right? Remy sat next to me, dead quiet. I tried to zone out and scroll through my phone while waiting for dinner. Then Christian showed up, sat down, and said, "Hey, take a good look, Remy. This is what it looks like when a man throws his life away." I didn't say anything. I just looked at Remy, who was staring at the table, kicking his feet. Christian smirked, got up, ruffled Remy's hair, which he hates, and walked off. Meanwhile, Cassandra was working the room, fake laughing with her new in-laws. She didn't even glance at me. Finally, the speeches began. The DJ called for everyone's attention, and Cassandra grabbed the mic. She looked around and then right at me, saying, "I told you not to invite him. He's not family anymore." Then she turned and waved at the security guys. One grabbed my wrist, not hard, but enough to make a point, while the other shoved Remy behind me, almost causing him to trip. I heard a couple of people murmur, but nobody moved. I looked at my mom, and she was crying, actually crying. Dad was nowhere to be seen. I shook off the guard and said, "We're leaving. Don't touch my kid." He backed off, but the other guard stayed between us and the cake table like I was going to rob it or something. Remy clung to my hoodie. I grabbed our coats and looked at Cassandra. She just looked away and whispered to her new husband, who wasn't even paying attention, just scrolling on his phone. Now here's the thing. I didn't come empty-handed. A couple of weeks back, Cassandra had asked me to help her organize her wedding spreadsheet because apparently, I'm the tech guy in the family. I found a bunch of emails she had left open, trash-talking half the family, including her new in-laws, and receipts for expenses charged to the family credit card, which she swore was covered by her new husband's parents but wasn't. I screenshotted everything, dropped it on a USB drive, and figured I'd keep it as insurance because, honestly, with Cassandra, you never know. As we left, I walked past the gift table. Nobody was paying attention, so I set the USB down right next to the pile of cards. I didn't say anything. I just walked out with Remy. Cassandra was laughing with her bridesmaids, acting like nothing had happened. We walked out, and Remy quietly asked if we could get burgers on the way home. I said, "Yeah, whatever you want." I was angry but kept it together for him. Literally an hour later, my phone started buzzing with notifications. Texts, missed calls, even from numbers I didn't recognize. I didn't answer any of them, not yet. That's part one, I guess. I know it sounds crazy, but I honestly couldn't make this up if I tried. If you want to know what was on that drive or what happened next, let me know. I'm not even mad about being kicked out. I'm just done trying to play nice with these people. Update 1. Okay, so I didn't plan to update this quickly, but honestly, the way this blew up is wild. I feel like I'm watching one of those reality shows, except it's just my actual family group chat melting down. After I left the wedding with Remy, we hit the drive-thru. He got like 2 cheeseburgers with ketchup everywhere. He was happy while I replayed the whole thing in my head, wondering if I should have thrown a drink in someone's face. I regret not doing it. After dropping Remy at his mom's, he told her about the cupcake incident, and she got mad for him but shrugged about the rest because she had seen my family do worse. When I got home, I plugged my phone in, and it just started buzzing like crazy. Group chats, missed calls, even a few blocked numbers. At first, I thought maybe someone was just mad I left, but then my cousin Sergio, who usually just posts memes and sports takes, called and asked, "Bro, what the hell did you do?" Apparently, someone at the wedding found the USB. I guess people were doing the whole, "let's open the cards after dinner" thing, and Cassandra made a big deal during her speech about a mystery guest or whatever. Everyone was hyped, thinking it was some surprise from her friends abroad. Instead, my little flash drive got plugged into a laptop. Shout out to whoever still brings a laptop to a wedding. And suddenly, all those screenshots, email drafts, and the spreadsheet with the family credit card receipts were projected in the main hall for both sides of the family and half the guests to see. I didn't even label the files, but I guess someone just clicked through them all, so yeah, chaos ensued. I got a text from my mom that just said, "What is this?" followed by a bunch of question marks. Then my dad called, but I didn't pick up. Cassandra sent me like 5 messages in all caps, saying I ruined her day and that she knew I'd pull something. She threatened to block me everywhere. Then the cousin group chat blew up with people arguing about whose fault it was and who paid for what. I just put my phone on silent and went to eat leftover pizza because, honestly, it's not my circus anymore, but it got messy. My Aunt Vanessa, who did nothing when Remy got smacked at the cupcake table, decided to call a family meeting on Zoom the next day. I showed up because why not? It was just everyone talking over each other. Cassandra was crying, her husband wouldn't even turn his camera on, my mom was trying to play referee, Christian was sipping from his mug and not saying anything useful, and Uncle Edward was yelling about respect, like he didn't pour champagne on my chair. Cassandra accused me of hacking her accounts, and I was like, bro, you literally left your Gmail open and sent me half those receipts yourself. Everyone was yelling, but then her husband's dad, who I barely know, unmuted and said, so, who's reimbursing us for the venue add-ons? Our side didn't agree to those. Cassandra just stared at the screen. Then the in-laws started arguing, with one calling Cassandra a liar and another saying the emails about their family were disgusting. The chat just went off the rails. My mom was crying again, and Dad left the call without saying anything. I muted the call, watched for a bit, then logged off when it got ridiculous. Meanwhile, my phone kept buzzing. Some cousins said I went too far, while others thought she deserved it. Ray's grandma, my mom, called and asked if he was okay. I told her, yeah, but she's not really listening. She just keeps saying she wishes things were different, whatever that means. I'm not apologizing for anything. Christian texted me one-on-one, which he never does, saying, you know you just made things worse, right? I replied, for who? And he left me on read. Classic. A couple of people unfollowed me on Insta, which is hilarious because I barely post. Cassandra's bridesmaids started posting stories about snakes in the family and fake brothers. I saw it, laughed, and moved on. The real kicker is the money. Cassandra's husband's family is demanding receipts for every single thing she charged to the family card. Flowers, DJ, even the cake. Apparently, she told them it was coming out of their wedding fund, but nope. She just used Dad's card and claimed it was all covered by her in-laws. Now both families are angry, and no one wants to pay for the extra stuff. My dad texted me a screenshot of the bill and asked what to do. I told him to talk to Cassandra. It's not my problem. I hear from Ray's mom again, who said someone from Cassandra's side messaged her to warn her about my behavior, like I'm some criminal. She blocked them. I laughed about it, but to be honest, it's getting old. The family chat is now a war zone, with cousins picking sides, aunts and uncles arguing over who enabled Cassandra, and my parents just trying to keep it off Facebook. Cassandra tried to text me again, saying I'm dead to her and she hopes I never show my face at family events again. I sent back a thumbs up and muted her. The main thing is that nobody believes the whole story right away. Some of the older relatives think I faked the emails or set her up. My mom asked for proof, so I sent her the original messages Cassandra sent me plus the screenshots. She didn't reply, but then Dad texted me just to say thanks, and that was it. Awkward as hell. Remy's not really asking about any of this. He just wants to know if we're still getting pizza on Saturday. I told him we are. So yeah, this is where it's at. Cassandra's new family is mad, my parents are split, half my cousins are blocking each other, and I'm just sitting here watching it all unfold, eating cold pizza and not losing sleep over it. If you wanted drama, I guess you got it. I kind of wish it wasn't mine, but whatever. I'll update if anything actually changes, but for now, I think this is just the beginning. It feels like people are picking sides, and no one's going to back down. Let me know if you want part 3, this is already wild, and I doubt it's about to calm down. Update 2. So I honestly thought the worst part was getting kicked out of my own sister's wedding with my kid. But I guess that was just the warm-up. It's like every time I think the group chat can't get more unhinged, someone finds a new way to make it about money. A few days after the wedding meltdown and the whole USB incident, things got even dumber. It's as if people suddenly remembered weddings aren't free and someone has to pay for all the stuff Cassandra charged to the family card. I was just minding my own business, trying to get Remy to do his homework instead of watching Minecraft builds on YouTube when my dad called me, which he never does unless something's gone wrong. He sounded tired, no small talk, just said, "Have you seen the charges from the venue?" I checked my email, and sure enough, there was a sizable invoice with my dad's name on it and a note about final payment being overdue. It included a bunch of extras, late-night snacks, photo booth fees, some open bar thing, and extra flowers. I knew for a fact Cassandra said her in-laws were covering the open bar. She made a big deal about it to everyone. Guess not. Dad said the venue was now calling him, threatening to blacklist the family for future bookings if it didn't get paid. I told him, "Look, I'm not paying for any of it, and neither should you. Talk to Cassandra." He sighed and said she wasn't answering his calls. Later, Cassandra's new husband started texting the family, asking who was handling the reimbursement situation. At first, he tried to be polite, but it escalated quickly. His dad jumped in, saying they never agreed to the extra costs and wanted all unauthorized charges refunded. My Uncle Edward, still on his high horse after the champagne incident, tried to blame me for the drama, saying if I hadn't embarrassed Cassandra, none of this would be happening. I just replied with a link to the invoice and said, "Ask your niece who signed for it." After that, Christian finally chimed in, asking why I couldn't just let it go for once. I told him, maybe if any of them had my back when Cassandra was trashing me and Remy, I'd care more about their feelings. He didn't respond. He never does when it's not about him. Out of nowhere, Cassandra sent a mass text saying she was handling it and everyone should stay out of her business, which was funny because 10 minutes later, the venue emailed the whole family again, copy-pasting the payment reminder and stating that if it wasn't paid in 3 days, they'd file in small claims. Dad got mad, called Cassandra, and she hung up again. Guess she blocked him after that. Now the in-laws are angry at Cassandra for lying about the wedding fund. Her husband's mom wrote a long message in their private family chat, which someone screenshotted for me. "Yeah, we're petty." Basically, she called Cassandra untrustworthy and said she never wanted to see her again. I got another message from Remy's grandma, asking if I could just be the bigger person and help smooth things over. Nope, not this time. I told her Cassandra made her bed. She can lie in it. Then came the real mess. The venue sent out a last warning, saying unless the bill was paid in full, they'd take it to collections and ban future bookings under our family name. Dad finally snapped, called a family Zoom, and just started yelling. It was the first time I'd ever seen him that mad. He said nobody was bailing Cassandra out, and if she couldn't handle her own bills, maybe she shouldn't have spent so much. Cassandra logged in for just 2 minutes, slammed her laptop shut, and that was it. Christian tried to calm things down, but nobody was listening. Meanwhile, Cassandra's husband's family started pulling out. I heard they canceled the honeymoon booking. Someone saw her husband at the travel agency looking miserable. Classic small-town gossip. The wedding gifts from their side started disappearing too. Cassandra tried to guilt my mom into loaning her money, but Mom said she couldn't. It was the first time she'd ever said no to Cassandra. Honestly, respect. Cassandra started texting me again, saying I was ruining her life and that I should be ashamed. I just sent her the screenshot where she called Remy not family and hit block. No regrets. I was still getting texts from random relatives. Half of them wanted me to apologize. Half wanted proof of what really happened. I sent the receipts, the emails, whatever. I'm not the one who lied or spent the money. Some people still don't believe it because Cassandra's always been the golden child, and I'm just the messy one since the divorce. Whatever, I'm over it. At this point, the only people talking to me are my mom, awkwardly, Dad when he's mad, and Remy. Everyone else is just picking sides or staying out of it. It feels strange because even though I blew it all up, nobody wants to actually deal with the fallout. Like they all want someone to fix it, but nobody wants to be the one to pay. The best part? The venue finally sent a notice saying the card on file bounced, and the remaining bill is now Cassandra's responsibility. She tried to call me, but I didn't pick up. She left a voicemail screaming and slammed the phone down at the end. I deleted it. This isn't my mess anymore. Last thing. Christian came by my place unannounced, just walked in, and said, "You're making things worse for everyone." I told him, maybe if you all didn't treat me and Remy like dirt, none of this would have happened. He tried to shove me as he left, but I blocked his arm. He slammed the door behind him. Mature, right? So now Cassandra's on the hook for everything. Her in-laws are angry, her husband is barely talking to her, and everyone's frozen her out of the group chats. It feels like she finally got a taste of her own medicine after years of dishing it out. I know some people think I went too far, but honestly, I'm not sorry. Sometimes you've got to remind people you're not just there to take their nonsense. It looks like it's not even close to over. I'll update if the family finds a way to make it messy, eh? I wouldn't bet against it. Final update. So I thought things might calm down after the money drama, but nah, it just spiraled into a new direction. You'd think after getting called out in front of two families, Cassandra would lay low, but she has this tendency to dig the hole deeper instead of admitting she messed up. I started noticing a bunch of odd things. My dad's name stopped showing up in the main family chat for days, which isn't normal. My mom kept texting me random things, asking if Remy wanted to come over for dinner, then abruptly changing her mind. I'd get missed calls from unknown numbers and voicemails that were just muffled yelling followed by a hang-up. Even the neighbor across the street started asking, "Hey, everything good with your folks?" because they'd stopped walking the dog at their usual time. People gossip, especially in this area. One afternoon, I saw Cassandra's husband's car in my parents' driveway as I was dropping Remy off. I thought, okay, maybe they're finally talking it out. But when I walked up, I heard shouting from the living room. Cassandra's voice, her husband's, and my dad's all at once. Remy looked up at me and shrugged, clearly over it. I told him to wait in the car and walked in. My dad was standing by the window, arms crossed. Cassandra's husband was on his phone, pacing, and Cassandra was sitting at the table, not crying but clearly angry, staring at the wall. I asked, "What's going on?" And my dad replied, "Your sister wants us to pay." Cassandra's husband snapped that their family was embarrassed and he was tired of the situation being public. It turned out some of the USB contents ended up in a group chat with a bunch of the groom's family, and now they were getting calls from out-of-town relatives asking if it was true she called her new mother-in-law a controlling cow. She did. She put it in writing. I saw it myself. My mom came in trying to calm everyone down, but Cassandra stood up and declared, "I'm not leaving until you pay the venue." My dad shot back, "You made your bed, you fix it." Cassandra got in his face, and Dad raised his hand like he was going to slap the table but stopped. Her husband tried to grab her arm, but she yanked away, slammed the door, and stormed out to the car. Her husband followed, slamming the car door even harder. My mom just sat down, head in her hands, not saying anything. Later that night, Christian called, furious about the family chat being full of drama. I told him, maybe if you all stopped pretending nothing's wrong, there wouldn't be drama. He tried to blame me again, saying I should apologize for airing dirty laundry. I told him, you all did the laundry, I just turned the light on. Then I started getting messages from people I hadn't talked to in forever. One of Cassandra's old friends from high school DM'd me, asking if the wedding really blew up. I replied, "You have no idea." She sent back a laughing emoji and a screenshot of a group text where Cassandra's in-laws were roasting her for being fake and selfish. Apparently, the in-laws were refunding some wedding gifts, and the honeymoon was definitely off. Cassandra's husband's little sister posted a cryptic story about some people don't deserve a second chance, tagging no one, but people figured it out. Then the real fallout hit. My parents received a letter from the venue, stating they were banned from future events until the bill was paid. My mom freaked out and started calling Cassandra, but she got ignored. Dad shrugged and said, "Guess we're not doing Christmas there again." My Aunt Vanessa tried to host a peace dinner, but nobody showed up except her and her husband. She sent a group text afterward, complaining about how nobody cares about family anymore. Cassandra tried to save face by creating a new group chat without me or my dad, but accidentally included Remy's mom, who immediately screenshotted everything and sent it to me. Cassandra was attempting to convince everyone that the USB was fake and that I edited the emails, but when someone asked her to show her actual inbox, she left the chat. Her husband's family was now publicly stating they wanted nothing to do with her. I heard from a cousin that Cassandra's husband moved out, taking his stuff to his parents' house, saying he needed space. Apparently, he's telling people he feels tricked and doesn't trust her. Cassandra's posting sad quotes and passive-aggressive memes about fake brothers. I don't reply, I just mute her. Remy's school sends home a fundraiser flyer, and he's more interested in that than any of them. He asks if he can still invite Grandma to his concert, and I say, sure, but don't expect too much. Family's weird right now. Then out of nowhere, my mom drops by with a grocery bag, saying she's just checking in. She doesn't stay, just leaves the bag on the counter and says, "Text me if you need anything." I think she's embarrassed, but I don't push it. I get one last call from Cassandra. She's yelling, saying I ruined her life and that I owe her for making her a laughingstock. I just say, "You brought this on yourself." Then, like 5 minutes later, she sends a voice note, but I delete it. I'm not interested in hearing excuses. So yeah, now Cassandra's locked out of most family chats. Her husband is gone, her in-laws want nothing to do with her, and my parents are just tired. Nobody's talking about the wedding anymore. It's just this awkward silence in every conversation, like everyone's pretending it didn't happen. Do I feel bad? Honestly, not really. Remy got treated poorly, I got humiliated, and nobody stood up for us. Cassandra wanted to make an example of me, but I guess she forgot that I don't just roll over. Everyone's still picking sides, but it's quieter now. Nobody's really winning anything, but at least I know I stood up for myself and my kid. What's next? Family's broken in a new way, I guess. But maybe that's better than pretending everything's fine. If something else crazy happens, maybe I'll update again. For now, I'm just moving on. Thanks for reading if you made it this far. And if you're ever tempted to let people walk all over you just to keep the peace, don't. Sometimes you've got to let it out.